This isn't good. Welcome to Robert's British Cars. You know, today I went to the store to get some milk with my little MG here, and I turned on the heater, and the car filled up with smoke. Well, it wasn't really smoke. It turned out it was steam. There was steam billowing out of the footwells, and my windshield fogged up. So how did I get steam in my heater? I got hot water in my heater. The hot water in my heater came from a leaky heater core. So I guess we're gonna have to fix it. So here we are inside the car. You can see that the windshield is steamy. You can see the steam inside the car. This is the heater box. The heater core sits on an angle in here like this. You open the valve by turning the knob on the dashboard. The hot water goes in, it comes out here. When you turn on the blower, it sucks air from outside the car into the heater box, over the heater core, and down inside the car. Let's take another look at this heater box from the 64. So you can see there's a little lip right here, right there. And of course, the heater core pokes through these little holes. So even if we take out these screws, you can't just pull this upward. You can't pull it upward because it's going to hit the heater core. If you bent it out of the way, it still won't go up because it's stuck right here. Whoosh! Is that we have to pull that heater core out of the car. So the first thing we're going to do is have a cup of coffee and beat ourselves up for not buying the Miata. I am going to take off the heater motor, and I'm going to do that first because it's the easiest thing to do out of this whole project. There's just 3 little screws. There's our heater motor, our blower motor, our fan, and you know that's going to live right there out of the way because that's what this shelf is for. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take the center console out. With the console out of the way, you can see in there, there's the 2 tubes that are attached to the bottom of the heater box that go to the defrosters or demisters, depending what you want to call them. So I'm going to reach in there with my hand and pull those off the heater box. And there you can see the hoses are off of the heater box. So theoretically now I can pull that heater box straight up. And now for the favorite portion of our show, you see this cable right here. This comes from the knob that you turn to direct the airflow. That's inside there. It's attached to the bottom of the heater box. I'm going to try to look inside here and see if we can see it. Well, I guess that's it. How the heck am I going to get that cable off the bottom of the heater box? And more importantly, how would I ever get it back on? Okay, here's what I'm going to try. Since our objective is not to remove the entire heater box, our objective is to take out the heater core. So with that cable attached, I'm going to hope that I can lift up the heater box enough to open it and get the heater core out without taking off that cable. Just when I thought this was going to get easy, I look in here and the screws that hold the heater box down, well, they're down there, but we have the control line for the heater valve, the vacuum line right here, the fuel line, the hydraulic line for the clutch, the hydraulic line for the brake, and a piece of wiring loom or harness that run across the top of the heater box. Those all have to be moved out of the way before I can try to lift this box up. And of course, we have to detach the coolant lines. I'm saving that for last. 3 days later, no, not that long, took a while, but I got the bolt off the top here, and the 3 screws down on the bottom, and I managed to loosen up the hydraulic lines enough to where I can move the box. And as you can see, maybe, it wiggles. So now we have to crack the cooling system and take those hoses off. Now the book says, drain the cooling system. If I drain the cooling system, I'm still going to have water in the heater core. So I'm not going to drain the cooling system. So to avoid draining the cooling system, what I'm going to do is take vice grip number 1 and clamp, if I can get my hand in here, and clamp off this hose. Then I'm going to take vice grip number 2 and clamp off that hose. Now the only fluid I have to deal with is the fluid in the return pipe, the heater core, and that hose. Well, there's one. Okay, that's out of the way. Just maybe I can catch some of it because I have a pan under the car to catch what I don't catch. And yeah, it looks like I got most of it here with the cup. And now it's coming out of the heater core. It would probably be a good idea to pop off these little clamps holding the box together. We're not cooperating. Well, so far I've succeeded in bending the box, and that'll do it. There's 5. In case you're counting, there's 5 clips. That was fun. I sure made a mess of that. The heater core was in this, well, actually, it was in this way on an angle, but it sat in there this way. I want to see where it's leaking so I can justify the 3 days it's going to take me to put this mess back together. I looked and looked and looked on this heater core, and I could not find any definitive leak. So what I did is I took it down to a radiator shop, and the gentleman there pressure tested it, and this side of the heater core looked like the fountains at Trafalgar. It was all cracked and water squirting out, so this is definitely a bad heater core. I ordered a new one. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to take this heater box out of the car and give it a proper cleaning. Instead of trying to detach the cable from the bottom of the heater box, I'm going to detach the cable from the switch and take the heater box out with the cable attached to it. Well, I got that cable off. Now this box should just pull right out. Whoa! Wow, look at that. We got the box off the car. Let's take a look at it here. This piece of foam is soaked like a sponge, so we were losing fluid. I'm just going to take that off the cable for a minute, put that off to the side. This is where those tubes went that feed the defroster, and this is our little movable door that is no air, air to the feet, air to the windshield. We'll take the cover off the box. We can see where it was wet there, and we can certainly see how it was wet here inside the box. The whole bottom was wet from the antifreeze. So we're going to clean this up while we're waiting for our new part to arrive, and then start the assembly process. I got my new heater core in the mail today. I was so excited, I put it inside the heater box. I forgot to videotape it, so we'll just have to explain what I did. So here's how you do it. You put the heater core in the heater box and put the snaps on the side. Then you put the vent louver on the bottom of the heater box with these 4 screws, 2 there and 2 here, right? And I installed the cable, and I lubricated the cable so it moves very easily. Now we're ready to put it back in the car. Putting it back in the car doesn't sound that difficult, but I'm going to have a problem. You see this oval hole on the left? That's where the cable goes through. That doesn't sound hard. The hard part is going to be getting the cable through that little teeny tiny hole in that rubber grommet, because you can't get there from here. Here's what I'm going to try. Okay, first I'm going to try to hold the camera reasonably steady. I'm going to take this green wire, okay, and I'm going to run it through here, and I am going to try to put it in the grommet and stuff it through there. I can't reach that wire from here, so I have to come up with another plan. We pushed more wire through now. Let's see if I can see it under the hood. Nope, still can't see it. So my hand is in there and I'm trying to feed the wire through to the other side. Okay, now I'm back under the hood and I can see the wire, and I can see that I have needle nose pliers. Let's see if I can do a piece of surgery. It's like playing Operation when you were a kid. All right. I just removed the funny bone. What I'm going to do is take this end of the wire, and I'm going to tape it to the other end of the cable that I need for the heater box. Pull on the wire, and I should be able to pull the cable through. In theory. Well, as you can see here, I taped the wires together. Now I'm going to try to feed it through. So here I am, pulling this wire. Okay, we got the cable through. And I think I'm just going to get it that close and go pull on the cable. I'm going to pull these hydraulic lines out of the way. I'm going to go pull on the cable again. I'm going to go around and investigate. If you can see, I can't even get my hand in there to point, the rubber seal that sits between the heater box and the body of the car slid down and is blocking those holes and keeping me from getting the heater box in. So we got to do it again. So here we are back inside the car, and you can see that rubber seal gasket where it fell down. And I think I'm going to try to attach it to the box and then put the box in. Okay, let's review. I got the box in by holding the box like this and holding that rubber seal against the box, putting it in, working the foam into place from inside the car. The cable is in, and the cable opens and closes the door correctly. I have the screws into the bottom of the heater box, the hydraulic lines and the electrical loom back into position. Now we're going to see about hooking up the heater hoses to the heater box. There we go. That back on the heater core. Pop off our vice grip. Put the heater motor on. I had a gentleman send me a question, so feel free to make comments. He wanted to know, how come you painted the heater, or how come you painted trim parts under here blue? And the answer is, because I happen to have a can of blue paint laying around. Here's an interesting side note. You see on the bottom of the motor here, I put little pieces of rubber hose. They're just like vacuum line. I cut a piece off, a little teeny tiny piece, and I put it on the exposed threads, okay? And what that does is it keeps the threads from rusting. So if I ever have to do this again, or the next caretaker of this car has to mess with that, those threads won't be rusty and it won't be a pain for him to get off. Finally, after all that, the heater box is in, it's reassembled, it's ready to go. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove the radiator cap. And you can see there's fluid in there. And what I'm going to do is run the engine, let it get up to temperature, and see if everything works. I'm leaving the radiator cap off so the air that's in the heater core can bubble out. Then after the engine cools down, I'll refill the radiator to make up for the fluid I lost. Side note, this is everything that, all the fluid I lost when I took the heater core out. Less, of course, what was actually in the heater core that I disposed of. But that's what I lost clamping off the hoses. That's not too bad. Well, we fired up the engine. She's been idling for a little bit and coming up to temperature. I checked for leaks and don't seem to have any. And as we look down here, we can see the little steam coming out of the radiator, but the thermostat hasn't opened. And I'll know when the thermostat opens because my thermal switch will kick in and that'll operate the cooling fans. Now, as we see, the coolant is moving. So the thermostat's beginning to open. And there we go. Fans just kicked in. So we are running at temperature. The water is circulating. Let's go see if we have heat. There we are. That's pretty much my normal operating temperature. Is just shy of middle. And let's activate our blower here. And we'll have our switch turned to interior. And then I'm going to turn it one more to defroster. Right. Well, we got hot air coming out. No steam coming out down at the bottom. We got heat and no steam. We must have fixed the heater core. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Robert's British Cars. We got the heater core fixed, no more steam on the inside. I can drive it now in the wintertime and have heat. Next, I think we're going to replace the timing chain cover seal on the 67 Spitfire. So stay tuned, and I'd appreciate it if you would subscribe. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be seeing you soon. Take care.